Hello, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Bill Crane Report. My good friend Dwayne Weiss with me, and we're over in the Rentham Studios. They've been kind enough to allow us to work out of their studio, and hopefully we'll be back in the home office, the home studio for the next show, and we'll get back to doing these on a regular basis.
You know, as generous as they are, you can wear out your welcome.
I've been accused of that more than once.
Would they say something like fish and visitors after so many days
begin to smell?
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Today we're going to have an interesting show. Some time ago we did I've been reading sort of show where Dwayne and I talked about some of the books that we've been reading lately. And a couple of times people have come up to me and said, Bill, when are you going to tell us some more books? Because read some of the stuff that you recommended and it was really good. So anyway, if it was one person that did it, I would have said, but 3 or 4 people asked me. So I said to myself, well, maybe there is some interest in this.
Your sphere of authors are very interesting. Now, I never read fiction before, much at all. There was a few people like Stephen King. But the rest of the mysteries, I never read those. And you got me hooked on them damn things now.
Well, I got some interesting stuff here to go over here. Should we start the show off with this?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Because you know if we don't, it's going to be time to quit.
Yeah.
And we haven't got to it yet.
You're absolutely right. Well said. Well, before we get rolling, I have something for you. It would be nice if I
Well, aren't you nice? Oh, look at that. That's very nice. It's our own coffee cup. The Bill Crane Report with Dwayne Weiss.
read back.
Oh my God, on the back of it says, delightful chatter and strong opinions from 2 lovable observers of life in the 21st century. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Very nice.
My nephew and godson gave me a box of those. Had them made up for me for Christmas.
That's very creative.
Yeah, I love that.
I wouldn't have thought of that in 100 years.
Do you want this?
Yeah, put it in. Let's just get in there. Oh.
And I have one for you too.
Thank you very much, Bill.
Well, you're welcome.
Of course, you know.
There we go.
I've only been to college for about 6 years. To be expected to put two halves of a box together? Give me a break.
I mean, after all. So, let me just take a peek in my first folder because there was something or two that I wanted to lead off with that I don't want to forget.
Okay.
And one is this, and one is this. So, the first thing is, which would you prefer?
Oh boy, oh boy.
A great steak with mushrooms and onions, or a great steak with French fries?
French fries.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Depend if it's a filet mignon, I don't want it messed with onions and other
Okay.
stuff.
Yeah. I like the mushrooms and onions.
Yeah, I do too.
But not on a superb cut.
Yeah, once something that's $25
Yeah,
a pound now.
sirloin. Yeah, bury it. Oh, good. That same steak, medium rare or medium well?
Oh, medium rare. Rare. In fact, it can't even be medium rare. It can be rare.
Yep, me too. Hot dogs or bratwurst?
God, two of them, I love them both. They hate me. But,
You can only have one.
gotta say brat right now.
I'd have hot dogs. I like hot dogs.
Oh, I do too.
Own a vegetable farm or a fruit orchard?
God, I know. For my own preference, it'd be fruit. But vegetables are easy to deal with.
Dwayne was raised in farm country,
Yeah.
so that was a good question. This is a beauty. Fight a giant rat
Oh, God.
or a giant hornet? Or maybe we should have a third option, run like hell.
Run like hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you said giant rat, it took me back to Vietnam in that Special Forces camp. They had giant rats,
Bigger than we have here?
like cats.
Oh,
Small cat, not a
No,
big
yeah.
cat, but a small cat. You know,
Yeah.
the damn things were that big. And you'd walk along and someone in front of you, they didn't care. They're bold as hell.
did you kick him?
No,
No.
you just let them wander off because they'd bit you. But which one of the horn? I hate them both. So.
Yeah. Run like hell, I think, is a good answer.
And this past summer has been a bad year for me getting stung for some reason.
Really?
I don't know what happened. I go summer, sometimes don't get one. This year I got 7 or 8 of them.
I got a hole. One of my windows is got a leak, and I got hornets this year. Mm-hmm. In the bathroom of all places. And I would go in there after the hatch, and I would kill 12, 15, 18 of them. And the way I'd kill them is with a paper towel and fold it in half and just squeeze it right on them.
Yeah,
and
I usually
then
do. Or
squeeze them.
newspaper.
Yeah,
Squeeze.
and then
Yep.
and break their back, you know? Well, let me tell you, I missed a few, and I got stung on that thumb. I don't know how many times.
This summer, one of them landed on me, so I didn't irritate him. Go. He took off, turned around, and stung me right under the thumbnail. Put that needle, that thing right. God, did that hurt?
Savage.
Yeah. Well, then after that was war. So.
I'll tell you. And you know, I sprayed outside. I did all kinds of things. I couldn't stop them.
Yeah, I always keep a can of that hornet spray,
yeah.
in the garage
Yeah.
because I like to. Did you ever get the football type nests? They look like a football about that big.
The
and gray.
ones I got, underground,
Oh, the underground ones. Yeah, I've got those sometimes too.
miserable things. Oh, I was sitting out in the backyard. I don't know what I was doing. I was doing something, and I kept looking up, and I kept seeing these bugs going up and going down. So what the hell's going on? So I walked over, and here's a hole. It's a nest, an underground nest. Well, I had a can of gasoline.
I poured gas down there too.
Yep.
Yep.
A little gas down there and a match. Boom! There was no more of them. Mercy. Listen to a rock band or an orchestra.
orchestra today.
Yeah, me too. Visit a zoo or an aquarium?
That's another tough one. Probably a zoo today too.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd rather go to an aquarium.
One of my what do they call them? The wish you want before you die.
Oh, sure.
Whatever they call it, is go to San Diego Zoo.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I called on accounts. It had a lot of accounts in Canada, in Toronto, and I would stay at this hotel. And I keep noticing in the room there was all this stuff about the Toronto International Zoo and all this stuff. Well, I thought, that looks interesting. After I quit, retired, I find out that that zoo is number 2 in the world, or in the country, or in North America, right behind San Diego. Wow. Here I had been staying about 4 blocks from the damn thing for several years.
I've done stuff like that
I thought,
too.
well, why didn't you just take a day and go over there?
Yeah.
But I didn't. It didn't even dawn on me that it was some kind of famous zoo.
I would go to the aquarium because it's clean and it doesn't smell.
Yeah.
The zoos I've been to always smell like poop.
Yeah, well, that's part of it being a zoo, I think.
And I always feel bad about a beautiful lion or tiger living in a bloody cage.
Today they're mostly natural settings, but they're still...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but I mean still behind bars.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem fair to me. But some people like it. Be very handsome or brilliant. Now, it doesn't say be very handsome or hideous, brilliant.
I know that. I know that.
Yeah, so...
But you and I have experienced both already, so it's kind of a... it's kind of an easy question, whatever we pick.
Yeah.
We've already done it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then try this one. A laptop or a tablet?
Is there a difference?
Well, yeah. Yeah, there is. A laptop is, a folding computer that, got more stuff on it than a tablet does.
I don't want
Tablet's more for viewing, I think.
Oh, I want the simplest one.
The tablet?
Tablet, I guess.
Yeah. You got a tablet, and how long did it take you to really get so you're proficient with the stupid
I
thing?
got an iPad. I don't have a tablet.
Well, that's what I meant. The iPad is a tablet.
Not very long, because first of all, it's an Apple, and my son knows that I'm technically hindered. So he said,
I have the same son that has the same feeling about me.
so he said, I went all out. I said, I got you the Apple because, first of all, you can't screw them up, and two of them, there's two that are simple. You always got that escape button. If you've got anything, just press that button, bang, you go right back to the beginning again. So it's not like, well, I pressed this and I shouldn't have pressed that.
Yep.
And everything's very straightforward on it.
Yeah.
So it didn't take it. I'm still learning stuff. They never tell you that. That always irritated me with these things. You get something like that, and it's got these little icons, little things.
Yep.
Well, put a piece of paper in there that says what they do.
The kids know what
They know
those
what all that
icons
stuff
mean.
is. What's that arrow with the little box mean?
Yeah, that's right. I don't know that stuff. And so Patrick now has a deal with me. So I'll come down and I'll fix your computer anytime you screw it up, okay? Don't you try to fix it.
Yeah, that's...
Because then you're going to dig the hole deeper.
I'm married to one of those. That if it don't work with one button, I'll keep pressing something until I think it's going to... By that time, it's got so many layers of errors in it that...
I know. So, I've got a 13-inch, a new one. I paid the pricely sum of $150 for it.
Nothing.
Yeah, and it's a Hewlett-Packard.
Okay.
And it was a $250 deal. BJ's had it for $150. $59, I think. I said to myself, how can you go wrong? I mean, look, what do I do with the computer? Well, I look at the stock market. I look at my stocks. I do some research on the stocks. I look at sports results. And I look at for political stories. If I read something or hear something and I don't write the information down, I go upstairs and say, a story about guy that shoots 11 people because his peanut butter wasn't tasty enough. And that's it. I don't play games or go into researching numbers.
I don't either. I pretty much read the day's news.
Yep.
If I can't get jumble, I'll see what the answer is supposed to be, or the final Jeopardy question. But I looked at stock market every day.
Yep.
And what else do I do? Oh, I do some on Google. I go on. I get a lot of questions. I thought, how about this? How about this? If I don't write them down right away, by the time I get to sit down and do it, I can't remember what the question was.
I write them down on little pieces of paper.
Yep.
And I bring them upstairs and I put them on top of the laptop.
Oh, that's smart.
And then I'll sit there and I'll go through. Now, that's an interesting thing that you say. I find a problem or have a question or there's something that's not clear. I go upstairs, fire up the computer, and say, Google, what's the story on this? Who was this person, or blah, blah, blah. Never once have they not answered.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing what's there.
It is. And 1 second or 2 seconds. I mean.
Once in a while, Alexa can't come up with the answer, the vocal one.
Okay.
But she's pretty good, too.
Alexa. The other one is Siri.
Siri, yeah.
Yeah, okay. We're going to talk about Siri here in a minute. Be a busboy or a dishwasher?
Busboy.
Yeah. Although, busboys do a lot more work than the dishwashers now. Because the dishwashers just load up washing machines.
Busboys get a chance to steal the tips.
Boy, I'll tell you, my first job was a busboy at the Lord Fox. And the waitresses there, they would tear your heart out for a tip. A guy I was going through checking my trays, making sure they were all empty, and that was my job, and pick the tray up, bring it back in the kitchen, strip it down, and shoot the stuff for the dishwashers, throw the linens in another area. And a guy stopped me and said, son, here's $1. Will you go get me a pack of Pall-Malls or whatever?
Yep.
I was only 17 years old. I said, okay. So I went to one of the cashiers and I said, can you change $1 for me? He said, oh yeah, sure, here you go, Bill. And I went and dung, and got the pack of cigarettes and brought it back to him. I said, here's your change. He said, no, that's for you. Oh, I said, okay, thank you. That cost 55 cents. Cigarettes were only 45 cents back then, or less even. The waitress that was serving that table came after me with fire in her eyes.
I'm not surprised. Some of them are extremely possessive.
And I said, he asked me as a favor. I'm just a kid, all right? All right, it's your tip. You're right. Here it is. Goddamn right, that's my tip. And wham, she grabbed it from me. Don't you ever do that again. And
yeah, well, my son started as a busboy when in high school. He, Lafayette House, right down the street.
Yeah.
He started doing that.
Now, the Lord Fox was across the street, up a dirt road, paved actually, up into the woods. You couldn't see it from the road.
Yeah, there was something up there.
Yeah, and they were the two premier luxury restaurants. Yeah. But yet, at the end of the night, we had to go, well, say we had 16 waitresses on. At the end of the night, they were supposed to give us 50 cents each. And the 3 busboys then would split the $4 or $5 that we got. Try to catch them before they got out the door.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Yeah, they were experts at that.
Leave me alone. I'll catch you next time. Leave me alone, damn it. I'm in a hurry to get home to my husband. 1 tattoo or 25 tattoos?
1 would be more than enough.
Me too. I don't understand what the allure is about having them up and down the arms.
I have no idea. And
the money involved.
And the pain.
And the pain.
And some of them, it's just a mishmash of stuff. It doesn't make any sense. Probably did to them at one point. But when you don't have a theme or anything, you just got stuff.
Yeah.
It goes all over the place. And why? You don't know what the hell. And plus, I see now sometimes they're finding that these things aren't as sterile as they were, and they're getting some kind of infections from them. You know that at some point they're going to find some long-range problems with these things.
Also, everybody seems to be a tattoo artist.
Yeah.
And you don't know who really cleans their equipment and who doesn't. Work on a farm or in a factory?
Factory.
I thought you'd want to be a farmer.
Not a chance in hell.
That business about getting up at 5 in the morning.
Yep.
Yeah.
7 days a week.
7 days a week. Yeah.
See, you did take there was no thought in that one.
Do you know I've talked to guys, like when I was in the service and all that were farmers. Yeah, or in my travels. And they become very attached to their animals.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sure.
Their cows. And it breaks their heart to have to put them down. He said, I'll be honest with you, I can't do it. I have to have somebody come in and do it.
My grandfather and my father's side was like that with his animals. He even had names for some of them.
Yeah.
And, they'd talk to him and they'd sort of respond to him and all that kind of stuff. But
I'm not sure that I could get awfully choked up over shooting a pig, but...
No, pigs you don't.
No.
But when I was a kid, they still had some horses.
Yep.
And they all, always carrying a carrot or some sugar or something for them, the treats. And he knew all the cows and their records and stuff. Of course, today you can't. Some of these guys got 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 cows they're milking. Yeah. They're just a number someplace in the computer.
I would much rather work in a factory, too.
Oh, my God, yes.
Yeah. You're going to like this one. With sparkly pink earmuffs or earmuffs decorated with cat ears?
In that case, I'd take the warmest ones.
Good answer.
Give me the cat ears. I probably can. All right, now I got one for you.
Okay.
This is for Bill. Would you rather pay my real estate taxes for the next 3 years or buy me a new Lexus?
I would rather buy you a new Lexus.
All right, let's go.
But I think I'd probably be, financially, I think paying your real estate taxes would probably
I'll
be
take
a
that
better
too.
deal. Yeah. So, let me ask you a question. I've got an article in here that we will never get to today. But basically, it's about what other states do about the elders and veterans as far as real estate taxes are concerned. And looks like the predominant choice is that vets and the elders get a 10 or 12 or 15% discount.
Yep.
20%. Have you got any discounts from Norfolk?
No.
No.
But you came to work for minimum wage for a few hours on their work-off program.
Yeah. You can, but that fills up real quick.
But, I know other states do, because my mother used to get a check back every year that came from the lottery. And it wasn't a lot. It was $300 or $400, sometimes $500.
Yeah.
But they took the lottery winnings or profits, and they got up and they split back into the senior tax real estate taxpayers as a taxpayer relief program. I can't see Massachusetts ever doing anything like that.
Massachusetts is probably the most poorly run state or business or whatever you want to refer to it as in the country.
Yeah.
Now, by the way, the governor is now saying, well, you know, I agree with a lot of things that President Trump is going to do. Huh? She was breathing fire on him before the election.
She found out some of the things like the, what do they call it, the sanctuary state status is killing us. It would kill the billions of dollars that we're putting out.
She's also hearing people about, look what you've done to us. And she wants to be relevant, number one, and two, she wants to be reelected because her path upward has been blocked off.
Yeah.
But she still wants to be something.
She's not going to give up. She's going national at some point.
Yep. Yeah. But you know what? So now she's going to become a Trumpette. I'll probably see her in a short skirt and a sweater that says Trump, and she'll be like a cheerleader.
Well, at that point,
waving pom-poms.
If you're looking to advance, you may as well gain favor with who's ever in power.
Mark Zuckerberg. Now, has there been a bigger Democrat supporter or Republican hater?
But he's smart enough not to fight at this point. I'll go along and I'll get what I can get out. Maybe 4 years down the road, I just get something else.
Yeah. Did you see what he said the last couple of days? That
probably not. I don't.
That we are becoming too passive. Men in masculinity are not what it should be. In other words, we've turned over the government to women. The men are. It's very difficult to debate a woman, because you're a misogynist.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
you're this.
You're
that.
accused of something so fast.
Yeah. So, and he's saying, you know, there's got to be a resurgence of men. Well, you know what? You and I have talked about this. And we've also said we should be hiring veterans, and there should be veterans that should be running for office. Guys that have been in and done it.
There's a certain, I shouldn't call it status, but most veterans that come out with a sense of priority or urgency to get a job done. They do it right, because the military teaches you that kind of stuff. It's like an extra couple years of school.
The military changes you for the better.
Yeah, I have got, I don't know, his grandfather, that's how old we're getting, his grandfather's my first cousin.
Okay.
I don't even know this kid anymore, but I knew his father. I don't know him. but he's graduating this weekend from boot camp in San Diego in the Marines, because he just got done with the what do they call it? At the end, they got a 3 or 4 day test from hell that they go through.
Oh, in the Marine Corps?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know anything
And he
about
just
that.
finished that. He passed it all, and he's getting ready to graduate.
And you have to pass that.
Oh yeah, you have to. I want to say conifer, but it wasn't conifer. It was something that started with a C. But he's his parents are proud of him and did something, And it surprised me that somebody today, young people are still going in things like Marines, and then
Yeah, there's hope for the country, when you see some of the young people going in the military. It's so important. And, used to be they'd round up the slugs
Yeah.
and say, let me bring you down to the recruiter, or the guys that screwed up. And the judge would say, son, how would you like to do 30 days in jail for this? Or how would you like to go down to the recruiter and join the Army?
I can't tell you how many cases I had when I was an investigator of just exactly that.
Well,
He gave him a course, jail or the Army. Mm-hmm. And then I'd have to go back and talk to the judge and say, we're not a penal institution.
yeah.
We don't want him. And you always say, would you want your son or your grandson in a foxhole and his life dependent on this character? And he'd say, no. I said, well, neither does his father want that to happen. So we got to reconsider here, because we're not going to take him.
Were you able to get rid of him?
I don't know what happened to him. I didn't care.
Yeah, you made a report, and
Yeah.
that was it.
Yeah, we never knew what happened after it left our hand. We didn't adjudicate, we reported. You never gave an opinion there either. You just put the facts down, that was it.
That was it, yeah. Interesting. Well, anyway, for Zuckerberg to be coming out and saying this stuff,
Well, only a fool would make enemies
yeah,
that you can't fight with for the next 4 years. You're going to be outmanned.
it's interesting. I predict that Trump is going to have a very successful 4 years, because he's already made all the mistakes in his first administration. He knows what he can get away with and what he can't get away with. And what the country wants, it was very clear in that election. What they want is safety in the streets. They want the border closed.
Of course, that's basic.
Yeah.
The only thing somebody's got to keep his mouth shut when it should be shut. And
Well, at least I don't think anybody will ever do that.
no, but they got,
It'd be nice if there was a muffler there.
yeah,
that-
exactly. Or a filter.
Yeah, or if he would say, before I say something, I'm going to think 30 seconds
yeah, exactly.
about it before I say something. I think he will, because, he's smart. And I think after you take his bluster and toss it off to one side, he's a smart guy.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So, by the way, I'm getting ahead of ourselves and we're getting all screwed up here. But Greenland,
Oh, Greenland, yeah. Okay.
he floated the idea out that we should take Greenland. Well, you know what? He talks about a lot of things.
Yeah.
Guess what? Denmark and the Greenlanders are in favor of this.
Well,
Not exactly.
Not statehood.
No, not statehood. They don't want to become Americans.
Yeah, but they do want to associate.
They certainly do. They want protection, and they want us to come in
Did you
and
know?
develop their natural resources.
Exactly. Did you know that during World War II,
Yeah.
Denmark came to us and offered them a sale
Yeah.
to buy
That's
Greenland.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
And we decided, no, we got enough going on our plate now
Yeah.
without having
Yeah.
to buy another country. But
We should have done it. Yeah.
yeah, oh yeah. World War II, Greenland was nothing but frozen tundra to us. It was a spot to put a military base. That was it.
Yep.
We didn't recognize there was any resources there. We didn't know rare earth. What the hell was that? They never heard anything like that. And then, of course, Greenland. You know the saying with Greenland. In Greenland, there's a beautiful woman behind every tree. Of course, there's no trees.
Okay. Greenland is a handy spot to have an airport.
Yeah, exactly.
For refueling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
With the polar routes and all that other stuff.
Yep.
And it's becoming critical for a naval operation because of the Northwest Passage is now becoming open year-round.
That's right. That's right. So I think by him starting with bluster,
Yeah,
we're going to blunder into a good deal.
Weyerhaeuser's not going to like it, but we don't care about the tree people. You always got to remember that Iceland is not ice, and Greenland is not green.
Green, yeah. But there's 57,000 people living there. Yeah.
But you think how big it is? Only 57,000.
Yeah.
That's
Boy,
damn
I'll
few
tell
per
you.
square mile.
Yeah, if we ever decide that we've had enough of California, we can pick it up and bring it to Greenland. It would fit in.
God. Yeah, going to do something there.
A wag this morning on Fox said, the federal government is going to be on the hook for a lot of money to bail California out.
Mm-hmm.
But we should go to California and we should say to them, not one penny until you can the governor and you can the mayor of Los Angeles, who are the two biggest problems we have. And until they're gone, then we'll come and we'll help you folks. Now, obviously,
that's
we can't,
not the American way.
We can't do that because we've got to feed them, clothe them, and house them. But beyond that, Dwayne, if California starts keeping, it's got to be green. Being green is more important than the economy and more important than jobs.
I think you're going to see an awakening and a changing after this on that, because this thing is so vast. People, I read last night on something about the money, the loss is, and people say, it was on one of the TV stations, 4 or 5, or they were talking about, they said, well, we're 3,200 miles away. You can't get away from it far enough.
No, you can't.
It's international because insurance companies do not carry all their own risk.
That's right.
They pass that risk off to
That's
other
right.
insurance companies who pass it off to other companies.
Yep.
It's a global thing. Everybody's going to pay for this almost worldwide.
You kick it upstairs to a bigger insurance company because it's called reinsurers.
That's right. And then
And they
kick it up to somebody
kick it
else.
up
Yep.
even higher.
Yep.
So you're right. I mean, this is going to have worldwide effects.
Oh, it's you're going to see your insurance rates go up for this.
Gee, that's going to be good.
Oh, but it's also you can't blame Californians for it because they didn't make the wind. They didn't make, but you can say, well, you didn't. You're not responsible, but your actions contributed.
Absolutely. And you can also say something very broad like, you keep electing idiots.
Well, that you're never going to get, because one person's idiots and the other person's genius.
Yeah.
But I think you're going to see now more consciousness of, do I plant all those trees or all those bushes around my house? Do I have all this foliage? Do I make it all look like some forest someplace, or don't I?
Or do you become like Arizona and have
That's right.
sand in your
And
front yard
minimal.
and rocks?
Yeah, minimal and rock. Yeah, exactly. Well,
Yeah.
that's what Southern California is going to have to do, is get rid of the lush
Yeah.
tropical garden.
Well, here's the thing, Dwayne. I mean, look, there's two things, okay? I'm stupid, but I know, okay, that if you drive logging roads into forests,
yeah,
that's not a bad thing, that's a good thing.
yeah, you got accessible.
Because then you can fight fires, but more importantly, you can go in there and clean up brush.
Yeah.
Clean up the dead stuff that falls. That's the stuff that burns.
Our forests in general have way too much fuel on the ground.
Yep. Absolutely.
Parts of Europe don't have that. They're all cleaned.
Do
People
you,
come out and pick them up.
do you know in Germany, women used to go out
Yeah.
in
I
the forest
knew
with a
it, but I didn't-
wheelbarrow and pick up twigs
Yep.
in the forest.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they couldn't pick up big things, but they could pick up a twig that
Yeah.
fell, and they'd bring them home and burn them. That is so logical
Mm-hmm.
that I cannot possibly understand why.
Well, see, there's no need for that here.
Yeah.
For a housewife to go out, or a Fraulein or a woman, or what, to go out into the woods and pick up sticks. She doesn't look at you like, what, are you crazy? Well, you say, well, you can use it for heat and cooking. I don't need that. I got an electric stove, or I got a gas stove. We don't do that. In some of these parts in Europe, that was part of their heating system or their cooking system.
Yeah. Oh, no question about it.
Yeah. So the motivation here I think, is going to be lacking. But again, there's no reason that we should let that stuff lay like it does.
Nope. And this is a lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's see if the Californians can understand it.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law.
Hawaii got hit with Maui, and California. These winds that are coming in. You can't. If we here had that same situation, like it got dry this winter or this summer, and if it kept on and on and on, and go into next year, and we hit a storm like those high winds and stuff, we could have had problems here, because we got enough woods to cause a conflagration.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, I take a walk down the woods. I used to have a wood burning stove. I used to love to get out in the woods. Mm-hmm. And, oh, well, look at his big pine branch. But it's been on the ground for 3 years. It's dry as a bone.
Yep.
Okay? Man, alive. Bring that home, saw it up into 5 pieces. If it's not for heating, but if it's just kindling, it's great.
Yeah, I used to make wood. Like I have a wood stove.
Yeah.
I don't anymore because it's too damn much work.
It is too much work and it's dirty.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And well, when Craig was home too, he hated it, but he whined, we have to cut wood again this weekend.
When
but I
I-
always took the down stuff.
Yep.
That had been down. First of all, it's already cured. It's
Yeah.
already dried.
There you
have to-
go.
and you could use it. And now that I stopped doing that, about years, I noticed that the other day. I said, "Oh my God, there's trees all over down here." That I would have gotten right off the bat when they came down. I would have cut them up.
Yeah. Because a lot of times what comes down is dead.
Yeah, usually
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. Interesting. Reminded me of something. When I shipped over to Germany, I went to headquarters, Grafenwehr. I was there for 2 days. Frankly, I don't remember anything about that. But I went over to Vilseck. There's 3 camps that are part of the 7th Army Training Center. Grafenwehr's the headquarters, Vilseck, and then way down south was Hohenfels. Well, when I went to Vilseck, it was German barracks. And guess what was in every big barrack room?
A wood stove.
Coal stove.
Oh, that's right, coal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that used to smell. And I'll tell you, it was cold. I went over there in February, froze. But somebody had to, or the Putzfrau, that was the cleaning lady,
Okay.
would start the stove before she went off work at 4 o'clock. So she would start the stove and bank it. So you had heat to 10 o'clock at night, maybe 9 o'clock at night. Somebody had to, at 9:30 or 10 before lights out, get up and shovel some more coal in. And if you got up during the night to go hit the head, a good thing would be to kind of stop over there by the stove and fire in some more stuff. Unfortunately, most of the guys didn't do it, so we froze to
Close
death.
to death. Now, I've only been around a coal stove once. And friends of ours that lived in North Attleboro, they bought a little coal stove. They had a raised ranch, and the downstairs, you walk in and you go up or you go down. And they had it downstairs, and it was only a little thing about this big, about this big. And they used a little, I call them chips, I don't know what the hell they are, little pieces of coal like this.
Yep.
And that one did not smell. It was, I don't know, maybe the new ones.
They sealed them better.
And it really gave off a tremendous amount of heat.
Do you know what that is? That is a carbon copy of a full-size coal furnace.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
'cause we had one in my grandfather's cellar.
They actually, well, if you looked in there, sometimes it was like a blue flame just hanging in that thing. And, it was like it should melt, hot enough that it's going to melt this damn stove, but it didn't. But
Do you know they're never going to stop burning coal in the world?
no, I don't think they
I
will
don't
either.
think so. And do you know who the number one exporter of coal is?
China,
Malaysia.
Malaysia.
It's Borneo.
Okay.
The amount of coal that they're mining and shipping around the world is incredible.
Yeah, coal will be used for. We'll never see the end of it.
Well,
We
you
won't
and I-
see the end of much anything.
No, we're not going to see too much more. But anyway, I have this. We're coming up with a special election Saturday, February 1st, for a $4,345,000 debt exclusion vote for funding the schematic design of a school expansion project for the Freeman Kennedy School.
That is
So,
biggest boondoggle waste of money that you can come up with.
folks, I am not going to tell you how to vote or even suggest how to vote. But please be aware of this situation. Look into it. And then let your conscience be your guide. But, we're just coming off of building the police station that borders Plainville, I think, way out there. The fire department has built a huge new fire department building.
The money allocated was going to build both of them,
Yeah,
which couldn't even build one of them.
couldn't even build one of them. And now we're looking at this addition to the school.
And don't forget, this is just for plans.
That's the plans,
That's not building the
the
school.
schematics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's another thing that we will not look at somebody else's stuff.
No.
This is reinventing the wheel over and over and over. All these plans have been done time and time and time. All the other towns and cities in this state, or even out of state, have already got these things in the files. Instead of going back to square one, take something that fits yours, modify it a little bit, and boom,
What is wrong with a cookie cutter
nothing.
addition?
Nothing. Absolutely
By
nothing.
the way-
It's all empire building.
It is. And we can do it better.
And you know who pays for that? Right off the senior citizens do on their real estate
right.
taxes.
That's
The
right.
ones that can least afford it.
Yeah. Yep. Well, folks, just again, I'm not even suggesting what you should do, but you need to think long and hard about, and so many times I've talked to people who have said the same thing to me. Norfolk does not have a tax problem. They have a spending problem.
That's right.
Where does it end?
Well, they don't seem to care here. I think, the movers and shakers, there's enough people that think that again, if it's empire building or ego or what it is, but they just cannot live within a budget. They cannot help themselves. You build a fire station and you got to buy a $10,000 table. Whoa! And the rationale behind that was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. That town bought one. Well, when you were kids and you said to your mother, well, why can't I do it? Johnny's doing it.
Yeah.
And what'd your mother say? I don't care what Johnny does. You're not doing it.
That's right.
It was a bad excuse then and a stupid excuse, and it's a stupid excuse today.
Mr. and Mrs. Jones got Bobby a car for his birthday, his 16th birthday. Are you going to get me one? Yeah, right.
Right.
Come over here, I got something for you, Billy.
Right.
That's what you're going to get for your 16th birthday. I mean, God almighty. Anyway.
Somebody said, this isn't mine, it was just a comment, the table. Maybe they should have asked the firemen, do you want a $10,000 table or do you want a 150-inch TV and the most comfortable recliners you've ever seen in your life and subscription to every streaming service and sports program out there? Which would you take? They said, I don't think they'd be taking that table.
It's got the seal of Norfolk on it.
Well, that impresses the hell out of everybody.
I'm telling you. Man.
Well, see, that's typical. No thought behind this stuff.
It is.
And then when you get somebody asks you, well, that guy, he did it.
We've got about 5 minutes left. You got something you
something that we can
riled up about?
Yeah, I did. What I got? What the hell was I got here? I can't think of his name now. The kid that shot the CEO for United.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, that's it, Luigi. Have you ever seen a more arrogant guy than that guy?
No.
He just defies.
Yeah.
Just everything he does is like.
Do you know?
Okay.
There's a poll out about everything. I'm surprised they haven't been polling us about the length of our fingernails. But I saw a poll the other day.
Yeah.
That said of the Gen Zs.
Yeah. Okay.
The youngest bunch. 41% approved of what he did.
Yeah, that really surprised me. I did say something about that too. The insurance companies had it coming.
Yeah. No, take it to life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I approve of that. Yeah. I mean, what is going on? Who is teaching these kids in school?
Well, we don't know who, but what?
Yeah.
Jeepers, this common sense is gone. Human decency is gone. If you let that mature or grow, you got nothing but anarchy. You can't live in a country like that.
Well, and this bugs me. I'm probably the only guy talking about this, but this really bugs me. is the Herald has a guy that tests cars. And once a week, he gets a loaner from a dealer, and he drives it around and he writes up. But it's actually an advertisement for the dealer.
Yeah.
Because he just says, different things. You can read it on the internet, the features the car has. But nonetheless, he tested a sports model. Now, I want to say it was a Maserati, but I don't know. But the brand doesn't matter.
Okay.
He said, 199 miles an hour this beauty will go. You touch the gas and it flies. They sell that. Nobody has to take an IQ test before buying one of those. You don't have to have a psychologist or a psychiatrist examine you as to why you want that, because you cannot use that on the roads. But yet they do, Dwayne. Late at night, out on the superhighways, they're running those suckers like crazy.
Well, they run them to a certain extent. There's very few people out there in the general population that could handle a car at 190 miles an hour. It's just beyond there. Because you see these guys like NASCAR or the Indy guys, they go 190, 200 miles an hour, but they're trained for years and years and years to do
those vehicles are prepped for it.
Yeah, and the vehicles are for.
Well, the Dodge Viper is a good example of that.
Oh, yeah, that was another one.
That is a dangerous car to drive.
Yep.
And yet, the government said, oh, okay, well, sure, you can sell them and put them on the road. Yeah, but you can't handle them, You
got characters like, what's his, Bieber?
Oh, yeah.
He got Lamborghini or one of them. He drove it about 800 feet, stepped on it, and it went spinning off and wrecked it. Well, he couldn't run that thing. In fact, there is a Dodge out, and that has certain horsepower up to a certain point, but the dealer won't turn the rest of it on until you go through their 3 or 4 day seminar on it.
Isn't that something? And they're going to drive that in neighborhoods.
Yeah, I know. What do you want it for?
Yeah. Because it makes me feel
that
like
car
a man.
actually, if you want seats, it comes with a driver's seat. If you want a bench seat, that costs you more. You want back seats, it costs you more. Because they're not made for that. They were made for mostly dragsters.
Yeah. It just, I don't know. And yet they go out on the road, they drive like crazy, they cause accidents and kill people.
Yep.
Under the Bill Crane rules and regulations, we wouldn't be building cars like that.
No, there's just no reason for it.
There's no reason for it. None.
None
whatsoever. Ay. I think, folks, that it's time for a break. And I know that your ears are bleeding, and you want to go mop them out. So we'll take a break, and we'll be back in a few.